YouTube fam? This your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of Hood Tales, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details in the case. For the day one fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Let's get right into the story. When you are a teenage boy between the ages about 13 to 17, for some reason, we think we know it all. You are entering in or already in high school, finding your crowd, getting to know the type of individual you are, and for some, if they are popular, you start to feel yourself. Especially if you are a lower classman and the upperclassmen want to be around you or accept you in their circle. I can't speak for young girls, but for boys, it's all about image. Whether you are the one in the circle the others can count on when it's time for some little teenage drama like a fight, or you the 16-year-old who has a little whip and a late curfew. The peer pressure of wanting to be that dude and a part of something at that age is deeper than most can understand. These are important years. Most of them early to late teen years shapes the way we carry ourselves or look at the world, even going into adulthood. Some people still hang with their same little clique from high school. But the downside of thinking you know it all and that your friends are as loyal as you are is that you really don't understand at that age you are as green as a leaf and really don't know much at all. And when you decide to make certain decisions to fit in or to make a name for yourself, they can backfire with tragic outcomes. And on this episode of Hood Tales, we'll be taking it to Milwaukee, Wisconsin to discuss a case of a 16-year-old boy charged in 2 hits within 30 minutes of each other, including his 15-year-old homie. Back in 2021, Jacob Howard was a 15-year-old young man, a sophomore at Homestead High School. And even though he was a short little dude, Jacob had heart, stood up for everything he believed in, and a big personality. One of his right-hand mans was a 16-year-old boy named Quintarius Hamilton. The two were actually neighbors and would kick it and hang out on the daily. Just being boys. On April 29th, 2021, things were no different. The two young boys were together and decided to find something to get into. Like most young men in the inner city, that usually means find some trouble. Jacob and Quintarius decided they would go steal a whip, and they did, a Kia. They parked the car not far from their neighborhood with plans on driving it the next day. The following day, on May 1st, the two homies were out hanging out again. Jacob wanted to show his homie something, so he called Quintarius and decided to show him his older brother's rifle, an AR-15. As the two young men had some wheels, it was one decision that would change everything. Jacob decided to leave home that night in a stolen whip and to take his brother's gun with him. Quintarius had plans of his own with the gun though. He told his little man Jacob, like, yo, I've been talking to a girl about buying some Zans. The young lady he was referring to was 19-year-old Callista Baker. Callista was originally from Colorado, but her and her mother had relocated to Wisconsin 2 years prior, in the area called Sheboygan. That's where the young lady graduated high school about a year earlier. Then she decided she wanted to move to Milwaukee because she loved the city. As Quintarius and Jacob rode around, the older young man decided to contact the young lady and say, hey, I remember you got them pills. I want $400 worth. She agreed, even though it was super late. Now, all the way until the next day. On May 2nd, they decided to meet on the city's north side at 92nd and Sheridan at about 4:50 a.m. As the young man pulled up, Callista walked outside. As they all were talking, multiple shots went off, striking the young lady in the head and stomach before the kid then pulled off. Only 30 minutes after the shooting, in the alley near 37th and Marion, more shots went off. As police were called to shots fired in multiple locations minutes apart, they arrived to the first scene to find Callista, unfortunately, already gone on the scene. At the second scene, they found 15-year-old Jacob suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. Also, unfortunately, pronounced gone as well. A 15-year-old young man and 19-year-old young woman had both been hit just minutes apart. At first, the only lead police had was the shell casings on both crime scenes, and they matched an AR-15. It was surveillance and city cameras in both areas. One man who lived by 92nd and Sheridan, where the young lady was hit at, told police about 4:50 a.m. he was woken up to 3 or 4 gunshots. He looked out his window and saw a person laying on the ground and a car speeding off. Waiting to get the footage, detectives went to tell Jacob's family and Callista's family the bad news. At the time, they felt the crimes were related but had no suspects or proof. Both families were devastated, as Jacob's friends at school mourned his loss of the little guy with a big heart and a loyal friend. One of his friends wanted to help the family out and started a GoFundMe, raising over $20,000. No one could understand why the 15-year-old lost his life to gun violence, as he was liked and loved by everyone. His family also held a vigil in his honor, stating the young man had big dreams and his life was now cut short. On Callista's end, her family stated she stayed to herself, hung with her older sister and younger sister, enjoyed being an aunt, and was a caring and loving person. They didn't know who would want to hurt her and why. As detectives got the video footage back, 2 cases would take a twist. The first video showed at 4:50 a.m. a kid pulled up to meet with Callista. One man got out and shot, then reached down and took something out of her hand. Another shorter man with a red hoodie on was seen jumping from the back seat to the passenger seat before the car then took off. About 30 minutes later, in the other footage, it showed the same kid pull up by the alley at 5:16 a.m. 2 people get out, one from the driver's seat and one from the passenger seat. The passenger, who was a short male, would start backing up about 2 minutes later before falling down. The other man, the driver, could be seen standing over him before taking off in the car. As police showed the footage to Jacob's family, they were in shock and confirmed the passenger in the red hoodie was in fact him. His sister stated the last time she saw him was on May 1st. He told her he was about to go ride in the Stolo, but his brother stated he realized after all this, his gun was missing, an AR-15. Detectives informed the family it looked like Jacob was a participant in the hit on Callista, and whoever the shooter was turned around later and hit him. More information would come out, including a call about a stolen Kia, which was later identified as the getaway car to both hits. About 2 months would go by before detectives got a hit on a suspect, 16-year-old Quintarius Hamilton. He was picked up and taken in for questioning. Detectives told the young man they had messages from Callista's phone showing him contacting her about some Zans. Quintarius admitted he wanted to rob her because he never had the money in the first place, but he never admitted to shooting her or Jacob. But his cell phone showed he was in the area of both hits at the time, and in the video, he matched the description of the man. He was taken into custody, charged as an adult with armed robbery, felony hit, first degree and second degree reckless homicide, and use of a dangerous weapon. Quintarius would appear on a video court date, and the judge informed him of the nature of his crimes and that they carried life in prison if convicted. He would be held on a $250,000 bond. Without showing too many emotions, the young man just sat and listened. As of now, the case hasn't made its way to trial yet, and Quintarius is innocent until proven otherwise. Rest in peace to Callista and Jacob. I send my deepest prayers and condolences to both their families. It seems to me Jacob just wanted to impress the older Quintarius, but he made a mistake when he allegedly gave him his brother's gun. He probably thought they would just rob the young lady, but instead Quintarius had other plans and probably realized he wanted to keep the pills and gun for himself. So he allegedly did that to Callista, then turned the gun on his homie. Either way, 3 young lives gone for nothing. 15, 16, and 19. Callista was only 2 weeks before her 20th birthday. And not saying that Jacob wasn't wrong for all the parts he played, but sometimes good kids make stupid decisions without knowing the consequences. You thinking we gonna go joyriding and have fun, but whole time your so-called homie using that to put you in the blender. Young men and women, be careful out here. Don't think you know it all. Listen to your parents and older people. Everybody not your friend. A handshake and a smile don't mean nothing. Snakes are always quiet before they strike. So remember, we gotta succeed not to fail, so we won't be just another hood tale. Man, rest in peace them two young people. I definitely send my prayers and condolences to their family. I ain't gonna say too much more about this one. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. That's another episode of Hood Tales. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. Y'all already know it's all love, fam. This your boy Tony 2 times. I'm out.